Welcome. I'm Colias.
I'm Core.
And I'm Krello.
And this is Hex Center.
Hex Center.
Hex Center.
Welcome back.
You're probably wondering, why are we having a Hex Center when there's no adventure taking place this week? Well, we just want to make sure you understand how very ridiculously high the stakes are as we fight against Kesukara here.
It's true. Next week, we are going to be confronting Kesukara, potentially on his home base, and trying to face him for some of these atrocities he's performed against the Hexant. But we have not been fully honest with you, our audience. We need to talk about the elephant in the room.
We do.
We haven't been fully honest with you.
Where is Heldora?
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, we all saw last week that she was verifiably upset when Moose perished.
Yeah.
And now she's gone missing.
Well,
Heldora.
and she had this horrible experience where Moose died once, came back, and then died again. She had to experience that twice.
Yeah, you think it's hard to lose a loved one. Try losing them twice in the same day. That's rough.
So she disappeared. We really don't know about what or why. No one's heard from her.
Up and wandered off on a quest.
Which is kind of like the first thing Guardians aren't supposed to do, but Heldora's always been a loose cannon. She's always been a wild one.
Right, but like because of this confrontation that we have with Kesukara coming, we need the Guardians to be here. We need them to support everything.
And that's on that note, honestly, what we need to communicate to you, witnesses of Throsha, is things are bad. They've gotten bad. Sure, we've got the keys, but violence is increasing, rioting in the streets of every major population center. This is rough.
Yeah, you've heard the story of Gornak's father taking out his tusks, and now Tick's experience with Delia's father dying at the hand of Kesukaran Reapers, and it's sad to say that those stories are no longer exceptions. Those are very, very common.
More magical creatures have been dying, like more magical races have been getting killed just because of the hatred that Kesukara has had towards them. It's terrible.
He's the worst. I mean, first he came for the magical races, and I said nothing because I'm an immortal being.
Right. But it's important to keep in mind that this is why we've done this. Galivor and why we've been in the Hex has been to get these keys so that we would be powerful enough to go forward and face Kesukara on these points. And man, have we had some adventures.
Yeah, we've done it. We've gotten all 5 keys. We even got Malthior's key and nearly his blessing, but then Arya showed up and ruined everything.
But 4.5 keys ain't bad, right?
4.5 keys is pretty good, if you ask me.
Especially when the half of a key is a trader's key, you know?
Yeah. Who
That's
needs a full
good
trader
trade.
key?
Yeah.
Although, seriously, I still have worries about Arya.
So we need to talk to you a little bit about how these champions going into this finale have been chosen. There are a lot of elements that go into it. The voting of the Throshan populace, the witnesses that are here with us in the Hex as we meet, and the Guardians.
Honestly, the Guardians themselves. They get to go through all of the champions that have been through all the planes, and they get to choose a champion of the champions.
Ultimately, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
See, the thing is, we want someone that the witnesses of Throsha can get behind, that their soul and their energy will support. But at the same time, it is a tactical decision, all right? We need to send the right people in to fight Kesukara, or we're going to lose. And so the Guardians know their champions better than anyone else.
It's true. They picked them intentionally. And on this table,
not accidentally,
we have, and we actually haven't seen these yet, but we have each of the Guardians, the ultimate choice for who they've decided to go into this quest facing Kesukara. So before we go into that, we're going to go over some highlights for each of these. We're going to start with Clan Veneta, and so we're going to see some highlights for each of those champions.
Any moment, we are going to see some...
I say, oh, come on.
There's normal.
I watch out for the lava, and I cast darkness in a 15-foot radius.
I forgot he had the accent.
Right there. Right there.
All right.
Yeah. To give us some cover, and before it falls, I say, by the gods, keep going, and give him bardic inspiration.
One of the best stone statues that we've ever had.
You actually had to carry him in on the second adventure night.
Core, too soon.
He got better.
Yeah, but still.
Well, that's normal. A tiefling that we all love and adore.
Who was anything but normal in our hearts.
It's true.
Because he was a tiefling, and who wants that?
Core? Krello.
Core, yeah, I agree. Core.
I didn't say anything. I love normal.
Let's get that next clip going.
I love extraordinary.
I don't feel so good. Tick, you
There's
have
Tick.
you, but you have got to rage. You're a goblin barbarian. Get angry. You're gonna die. I'm angry. Is that good? Yeah.
Is that healthy?
That relationship between Gorodak and Tick, man, they had something special.
So Tick drove me crazy, refusing to rage all the time. What kind of barbarian is conservative with his use of rage?
That's true, but
Right?
you did miss the portion, I think, where he did rage and then immediately cried afterward because of how.
Oh, I
he was
didn't
just
miss
a
that. I
soft
was
soul.
there.
Yeah.
Remember, I tried to kill him by granting advantage to one of his foes.
That's right.
The
you
audience
did.
loved me for that one. He was so mad at me, he actually caught me up later, right before the show, and cut my hair.
Well, let's abate Krello's bloodlust with this next clip.
You are not members of the Cunning Dead.
We're not cunning.
There's Big John.
But I am a member of Venida. See my button.
John,
It truly is.
John,
What?
shh.
What?
Shh.
I don't.
John,
Is that something to keep a secret?
Yes.
From
I think
the
they
Venida
don't
people.
like it. They don't. I don't know if they like them or not.
Wait, what?
You don't know if the gargoyles who guard Lady Venida's
That's
house
true.
like Venida.
Big John, with his guileless personality, always telling the truth.
The voice of reason.
Yeah, voice of
of
reason.
reason.
And honestly, when something went incorrectly, he would fess up to it. He would say that it was, he'd fix it.
It's true. I think he hid like twice. Very
Yeah,
honest
and I think
rogue.
that was really interesting for a rogue to be so honest all the time.
Right? Seems
So-
counterintuitive.
These are your choices so far. We're going to see the last option here for Venida.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run
Eamon
up
Ramus.
right in front of that guy, and I am going to cast Minor Illusion behind him, kind of where I see the thing in the wall of one of these angel dudes going like at him, and I'm gonna go, look at that!
All right.
Yeah.
In angelic armor and all, tongue protruding through the helmet.
Yep.
And that was after from his efforts, he got back Moose from the ice.
And then was killed as a thank you.
Yeah, he was killed at the end of that adventure. Terribly tragic. Well, these are our 4 champions that we're going to be looking into, and we're going to give the
Right,
honor
hand that over to me.
Krello to open this one.
I'm in the Hexmaster seat. Coincidence or foreshadowing? We'll find out.
Between Normal, Tick, Big John, or Amos Ramus.
The selected champion who will represent us in the final fight against Kesukara is... Tick! It's Tick!
Yes!
Tick, I'm gonna say this because you need to hear it. You need to get mad. Tick, you have no friends. Nobody likes you. You're not doing well in life.
Krello.
That's
This
not
is
true.
proof that we as summoners are impartial. He would have never picked Tick.
You gotta get
that's-
angry,
that's
Tick.
fair.
Tick,
That's
you gotta
true.
get
That's
Tick.
true.
You gotta get angry.
Now we're
Tick.
going to be talking a little bit about the champions of Talum. Those woodsy individuals who have helped us on the side. Almost all of them have
Yeah,
been
that's true.
green
They have a
and
lot of leaves
One
in
of them
their
actually had a
decor.
bird on his head.
That's true.
Well, we're going to
Let's go to the first clip.
Clan Talon, 15 seconds on the clock.
Brass, I'd like to apologize. Don't say anything. We only have 15 seconds, and I just want you to know that whatever happens, I'm proud of you, and I think you're a fantastic champion. I'm sorry I said those things.
So 0 advice. Cool.
Just turn into a bear.
What? Channel's closed.
That sassy Brasleaf.
Brasleaf using speak with animals to talk to a sentient kobold was truly,
Yeah.
he pioneered a new technology in Magic because we saw that trick repeated in later quests.
Probably one of the coolest champions that we've ever had.
Yeah, super chill.
Definitely, he seems
Super
like your
chill.
cool older brother, except I have no older brother because I'm as old as time itself.
Well, I mean, he's so zen. We actually have monks, and I feel like he's been more zen than monks.
Indeed.
Let's go on to that next champion.
I'm going to look right
Winifred
at
Way
that
Walkett,
scary
Nampoodlesill Sprocket.
Umbral King, and I'm gonna say, you took someone very important from us today, and you're not gonna win. We're never gonna back down. So, eat this, and then I'm gonna cast Fireball at him with everything I have.
All right.
I mean, come on. Anytime you cast Fireball, you're going to get play of the game. That's just kind of how it works.
Well, she took out 2 enemy champions and did a ton of damage.
In case you forgot,
Yeah,
Tick
absolute
was the Veneta champion. That's
Powerful, powerful wizard. Kind-hearted.
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 right. Sweet to the core, and just
sweet.
occasionally fires deadly mass weapons.
Yeah.
Well, they're capable champions. If they couldn't, why would they be here? I mean,
Exactly.
honestly.
That's what I asked about Braz Leaf every day.
That was a strange choice. Next champion.
May I have Quill and maybe take a chatter at the bird and see if we can get a clue?
There's Lunan.
You are welcome to.
Quill. Yes. That's lovely. She says she's dumbfounded. We'll have to try something else.
Well, okay. The part of the bird.
The usefulness of birds aside, he did talk to that bird. He just didn't happen to be very useful at the time.
Yeah. Lunan was great. He had a way with words. He was absolutely fluent in poetry and song. He also was able to he reasoned in a way that only a Talon could. Very well balanced and very open-minded.
And such honest tips.
And that's what struck me about Talon, honestly, is their champions have all just been sweet to the core.
That's true. I mean, they may have had the moral victory here. Who knows? Our last champion.
Layla, I think you can kick anyone's butt, including your own. So, like, I'm not worried. As my dad always said, Layla, go kick your own butt.
And that was Layla, the wonderful ranger who did a lot of damage for a ranger.
It was really refreshing to see a ranger really get down and dirty, get in the mud with her opponents, and that's you don't always see rangers performing that well. And
Well,
so
and she had a close call too. She also was taken down
She went
and
to
was
zero.
brought back by Moose.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
After the whole team tried to like revive her.
Yeah. So we've shown you your options. We've shown you your champions for Talon. And I think the only thing left to do is to reveal to you the decided champion.
All right, out of Brazleaf, Winifred, Lunan, and Leela Fairchild, we have Leela Fairchild.
And that's it. A ranger is going to the finals. It's never happened in the history of anything that a ranger did well.
But she's done well, for certain. Let's
Good.
put that up
Yeah,
with the
there
other
we
ones.
go.
Now, Talon has done some important stuff. They've been the rock of our group very often. But Arya at the end of that last game, the end of that last adventure, that was some really emotional stuff, some high stakes.
Well, I think there's been some pretty good highlights of Arya throughout the entire thing. Let's take a look at that first clip.
Yeah.
All right. That would take it to Drusilla.
I am going to cradle Helmer's little body in my arms
Drusilla.
and cast Misty Step and get us the heck out of there.
Can you transport another creature with Misty Step?
I think when you have love, you can do it.
Summoners, does the power of love grant Misty Step the ability to take a creature with her?
I also have bardic inspiration.
In the ancient tomes, there's an exception. It says, if you truly love the target, you can take them with you on a misty step.
Thank you, Summoners.
The ancient tones don't lie, Alvaro.
Honestly, I haven't been able to find that tome since.
It's in the asterisk portion right underneath Misty's Step. You really have to look close.
Yeah, I guess you have to look
Hey,
really.
Tor, have you never heard that true love
close.
conquers all and the rules?
Is it written in the rules?
It's
Well,
written in
look at
the
how
rules
thick
of my heart.
Krello's glasses are. That
Look
guy
how
could
thick these
magnify
are.
onto an ant
I guess
with
that's
no
true.
effort.
But you know what? Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Drusilla.
Yeah.
Jeez.
She was serious. She was down to
They're
business.
getting married.
She got engaged in the middle of a combat.
She loved Helmer. It was pretty awesome,
Hey,
right?
where did you get engaged? Was it while fighting a boss? Didn't think so.
Well-
Drusilla did.
I mean, the engagement story is going to beat anything, so we've got to get our other champions another shot. So let's get that next clip.
Let's do it.
There's Delia.
2 HP.
He can hurt a lot more than 2 HP.
Have you heard him speak?
Too often. It's charming.
I'm feeling good about this exchange.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad you're on board. I really like you, actually. I'm sorry.
She did not, in fact, sell Samuel Stupa.
So,
unfortunately.
Truthfully, I feel like there have been a lot of champions over the course of our battle against Kesukara where I'm like, this is not a competent person that we should be putting in harm's way. But if something had happened to Delia, my heart would have been broken. Because she clearly had no idea where she was or the gravity of what she was doing.
All right. In her defense, she did a ton of damage.
She needs no defense. She did fine with her father's ancestral sword.
I was going to
Despite
say,
your
once we
expectations,
know
right?
her history, like you start to realize that that's why she was there. Her heart was just so big. She loved her friends.
so
she
pure.
loved her father. She was so pure.
Even though she is literally cold-blooded.
Dragonborn.
I was going to say our only
Partially.
champion who's cold-blooded, but I'm actually not sure about goblins.
Partially.
Or
yeah.
well, I guess tieflings.
Tieflings are the very opposite of
blooded.
This
cold-blooded.
isn't biology
Check it
class.
and see.
Next champion.
Can I roll perception for anything else that may be on the door that could help us?
You're welcome to roll perception.
But eggs kind of
All right. I'm mustering up all my investigative skills. 20.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20.
Sister Posey.
What can we say about Sister Posey?
Her first name is Namori.
I definitely misheard that first name. But she
Namori.
also
Namori.
she was
Namori
a
Posey.
tutor to Sir Nock, was she not?
She was.
Sir Nock actually had a bit of nepotism in his hiring practices because he seemed to have a personal relationship with every single one of his champions.
Maybe Clan Arya is smaller than we really give it credit.
Well, they're a lot smaller now, am I right? Huh?
Hey.
Arya.
Next
This is
champion.
Hex Center.
I'm going to run up to it and poke it in the spot that
Zena.
makes it breathe fire. The spot that makes it breathe. Would you please make your attack roll
It's a tickle attack.
to poke it where it breathes?
Very few people, has gotten the Hexmaster to pull out his flagon of ale. Like
Okay,
that.
here's the thing. I don't know if that clip did Zena justice.
This is
because
true.
Zena, that was definitely a fun moment for her where she was tickling a monster to force it to breathe fire on the ice. But she has been a very intense, very militant presence, and I thought her standing down Arya, even after learning it was Malthior's deception that had deceived her, she still said to Arya, to her face, "You have lied to me. You were not there when
That's
I needed
true.
you." Zena, in a word, is relentless, and in a second word, is principled.
Wow.
Between Drusilla, Delia, Sister Posey, and Zena, who do we have coming back?
For
Returning.
the finale. Let's see. Representing Clan Arya in the final is Delia.
Delia, back in harm's way again. Poor little Delia, you're gonna die.
Let's hope not. She's got a lot to stand for and a lot to prove, and I'm excited to give her a chance to do that.
Good luck, Delia. I wish you the best.
Our final bout of musical chairs brings us to the most intriguing clan, the most furious clan, one would argue.
Wait.
And the most curious, given the circumstances of Heldora. But Clan Krieg, born Krieg, raised Krieg, is Krieg. Am I right, my brother summoners?
I think that we've learned a lot about all the different clans, but I think that we've learned a lot about Krieg's passion. We've learned about Krieg's power. We've learned about how they just go for things on impulse. Every single one of their champions has had, a drive that has pushed them to the limit. Let's take a look at that
food thing.
Yeah, and a food thing.
And a food thing.
Right?
There's been a lot of food. Let's see that clip.
You are aware that high-level spells of
Helmer
healing can potentially restore your friend, but there are rumors and stories of other means and other magical solutions to curing people who have been petrified.
Helmer goes up to one of the singing fish ladies and offers a treat to maybe get them to help Helmer's stone friend. Helmer keeps this one. Offers this one.
You offer the celery. Please make the check with disadvantage.
Heart of gold, but doesn't like celery.
If only he'd offered the cookie thing. He
Could've
probably
changed
would have rolled
things.
with advantage.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know. Now, Helmer, he seemed pretty distracted through that first plane. Because he had Drasilia right there.
A tense relationship for like 6-7 years that finally ended in a proposal. Thank goodness.
And that's the thing. Like I said, hey, who else can claim to have been engaged in the middle of combat? Well, Helmer. Helmer can also make that claim.
Yeah, he's the
Interesting
only,
fact,
he's
same
the
story.
Only other,
Yeah.
the only other one.
With that in mind, let's go into our next champion.
Let's do it.
Axes are better than arrows.
Samuel
and I roll a
Stupot.
natural 20. Give me your horse! My goal specifically is to knock him off of his horse.
Samuel Stupot.
So, I don't know if we've ever told you this, but the summoners, we keep sort of a running superlatives about all the champions. Most likely to succeed, most likely to be killed by a rule change. Samuel Stupot got the coveted most likely to consume a sentient being while they are still alive award from the summoners table, and he earned it.
He did. I mean, we predicted that he would eat one of his party, and he ate himself.
Yeah,
He
he
member
ate
of
his
his
party.
shadow member other that was himself, and he said he was delicious,
Now-
and I venture to believe him.
I would like to talk about his tactics. Now, he wanted to eat the unicorn to begin with. He went and met the unicorn, wanted to eat it, and had he done it, they wouldn't have fought the Shadow Mane.
That's true. He got held back.
He was
He
sort
had
of
the
precognitive
foresight.
in that way, yeah.
And Krieg initiative, Krieg impulse, man. It's crazy. You don't trust it when you first see it, but I've never seen it not work out.
It's safe to say that for generations to come, people will seek out his cannibalistic wisdom.
Well, and honestly, his stew, out of this world.
Out of this world.
Out of
Some of
this
the best stew I've
world.
ever had. I'm going to get distracted if I keep thinking about that stew. So let's get on to our next
Won't we
champion.
all?
Clan Krieg, 15 seconds on the clock.
I'll kill
Tuska.
it. I'll
Green
kill it.
King.
I'll kill it. I'm gonna 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 kill it.
And I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. We're talking about impulse, and that was all pure impulse. He was like, I'm going to
Probably
kill it, and he
the
did.
Kriegiest of the Krieg champions.
I think once he let his Krieg flag fly, the first, the beginning of the journey, he was, more reserved. But then I think
I remember that well.
But then
having
after
been here.
Yeah, but then I think he let it go. He let his Krieg release.
Indeed.
He is Krieg.
He was.
He was Krieg.
Yeah,
He
he was
painted really
Krieg.
well. He added all those
He-
skulls to the painting.
He
I like that part.
painted Krieg.
Let's
see
jump
that.
into our next Krieg champion.
Our last Krieg
Amen.
champion.
You lean down and you tenderly kiss Layla.
Moose.
She does not stir.
Or Moose.
Moose.
Okay, okay, move aside, move aside. This is how you kiss someone.
And kiss, she did.
They did.
And she got Layla, that was sitting right there at the time, back to life. I mean, she was zeroed. I think she'd lost 2 death saves. She was real close.
I mean, we've already touched on Moose a little bit. We've talked about how she had already frozen in the river, got reanimated by the flame from Xena, and then she went in, and then she was finally beaten.
Yeah, she was killed
defeated.
in the final conflict with Arya. Truly tragic.
Honestly, about Moose, or Muth, I can say, pretty good for a tiefling.
Wow.
That means something coming from Krello.
That does. So, Krello, we give you the honor of revealing to us who will be the Krieg champion.
Between Helmer, Samuel Stewpot, Tuska Grimfang, and Moose.
All right. The next champion represent. Hold on. I'm getting a message spell. It's only 25 words, so the grammar's really, really bad.
Makes sense.
No, okay, I'm afraid we have some bad news. We still don't know where Haldora is, and therefore we don't know who is going to represent Clan Krieg. And frankly, if we can't find Haldora before we face Kesukara, we may not have someone representing Clan Krieg, and we will be doomed.
Clans are nothing apart, but together we have some hope.
I need to know what you're writing on there.
It is a question mark.
God, I thought you were writing my name.
So,
Can't be me.
unfortunately, we as summoners have failed to tell you the last champion, but if you tune in next week for this adventure, you will find out, hopefully, as they enter.
What are you about to say?
Oh, can I say it?
No, we're all
no,
gonna
we're all
say
gonna say
it.
it. Were
Okay,
you
I'm
going to
sorry.
say it without us?
I was excited. You should.
I'm really sorry about him.
Good.
Posse always gets to say this.
I got
it's our
excited.
first chance saying
I wanna
Elias
say
tried
it.
to steal
Yeah,
it.
well, I've got to say
Okay,
it.
everyone,
sorry.
everyone
We'll
take a
share.
breath.
We'll share. We all get it. We all get it.
Okay, ready?
As we
enter
the
hex.
Enter the hex.
You did it slower. We
It's not
wanted
my
to go
fault.
faster.
It's not my fault.